the AI Innovation Awards were held last night in Sydney, open to all individuals and businesses developing innovative AI solutions. So to get us across the event, because we weren't there, Andrew Whelan, CEO of Dash Technology Group, joins me now. All right, so that must have been a night of nights. What was the dress code, Andrew?
It was black tie,
Was it
actually.
for
So yeah,
AI?
for AI. It was quite fancy for to see all these tech specialists dressing up in their finest. But yeah, it was a huge event actually, and it goes to show you how far we've come in such a short amount of time with the use of AI across industries.
Yeah, I would have thought we would have had some T-shirts with the jacket over it, but nice to know we
Right.
still can get frocked up. All right, so what industries were represented? I mean, AI is sort of a broad term right now.
It really is, and it's incredibly broad. But what was fascinating when you're in the room, so there would have been close to 1,000 people in the room last night, held at the Four Seasons, so a huge event. But the what was staggering was we were in Dash was nominated in two categories. One was wealth management, which is obviously where we work in, but then a broader IT IT category, which was just one of more than 20 categories. So you had everything from defense contractors, telcos, banking, wealth specialists, not to mention just the AI startup and AI specialists that provide technology just around AI and consulting around AI. But also the big four were massive. They were in everywhere. So your EYs, PwCs, your big four consultants were really well represented and picked up a few awards last night. And then as well, something I'd never really thought of, but makes complete sense, is academia was had a huge representation there, and so they had academic, like they're doing research, academic award who've done research into the space and its applications. So it really goes to show you that AI is here to stay, but the breadth and depth of which the all industries are being touched and are utilizing it now, and utilizing it so well that they're actually submitting the coolest and most innovative ways that they've been able to get use out of it is it was quite staggering actually.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so when we think about, this context, AI in advice, AI in financial services, it's ubiquitous now, isn't it?
It is ubiquitous, and it's the way that we're seeing it being used most effectively, and this is the one of the real tenets around AI is the way to get the best use out of it is to have it do the thing that you least like to do, and also the thing that you add the least value in. So when that comes to financial planners, which is the space that we know most well. They're using it particularly to sort of take notes, record meetings, but it's a highly regulated area. So being able to develop file notes on the fly without having to pay for sort of administration support and be sure that it's in the right structure and if it's capturing all the details for the legislation so you could pass your compliance audits has been critical, and that's been really widely adopted. But then on the other side, marketing has been really important in terms of growth. Marketing is getting it to write content for you and being able to write different content for different people. So depending on what stocks they're in, they can get different and customized material for them. And then one of the coolest ones, which we've mentioned before, is advice and service businesses, consulting style businesses, always tend to have a bit of a cap on scalability in that they can't be in every room in the country all at the same time. That AI has been able to help break down those barriers as well, where they can use AI to create an AI version of themselves that can present advice and present problems or economic updates that are highly customized to the customer, but they don't have to do it on a one-to-one basis anymore by bringing them into the office. The client can watch it at home on their own in their own time, but still feel like they're being presented to by their trusted advisor.
You're not worried, or like AI is not going to replace advisors, is it, Andrew?
Well, it's a really interesting point. So we can, um, it would be hard, it would be nearly impossible, and I think Dash, it wouldn't. I think Dash wouldn't support advisors being replaced. So in such a highly regulated industry, The advisor itself is I don't think that the data is in that the clients would trust a black box like an AI, like artificial intelligence, enough to be able to actually hit the button and make the decision and implement the advice. So the data is not in there. We know that most clients, the vast majority of clients that have advisors are experience the most comfort with their future financial well-being. So they're the most satisfied sort of cohort of those that get advice when it comes to their savings. But from a regulation perspective, it would be really challenging that if the AI brain, if you will, would be a very difficult engine to unpack if you had a complaint that was about advice that you received some 2 or 3 years down the road. So you being able to, you need your algorithms that generate the advice to be auditable, repeatable, and scalable. And AI can do most of that, but the auditable part would be far harder to go back and try to understand why the advice was given the way that it was, and was it appropriate at that time. So I don't think that's a position that we would support at Dash yet. And certainly all the data suggests that clients like to make sure they speak to an actual human before they start making really serious investment decisions.
Regulation of AI must have been a talking point last night, if not during the proceedings, but around the table, Andrew, because it's a live question right around the world. How would you like to see AI regulated?
Well, it's going to be really tough. Now, the Treasury is actually doing a review of AI and how they would like to see regulation handled across all industries. So really across that whole room that we were in last night. And the nature of what they're trying to do is to make sure that as AI becomes more used and more ubiquitous, that consumers are still protected under the Corps Act. So that invariably, when really disruptive software and technology comes along like this, there needs to be an update to the regulation. And they're fully supportive of the fact that consumers broadly need to be protected. When it comes to advice, though, I think this is a really important tipping point. So as we all know, the advice industry has sort of been decimated in terms of they've lost up to a third of their industry over the last 5 years. A third of advisors have chosen to leave the industry due to overregulation. So one of our concerns at Dash and more broadly in the advice industry is now we have something that can really help advice get in the hands of more Australians, which the government wants, and we want, and everybody wants that. So that's a win-win for everyone. But the history of overregulation in financial advice makes this quite a scary moment for the industry, in that if the Treasury throws the baby out with the bathwater, doesn't understand it, and then chooses to just outlaw or do some sort of blanket ban on using advice within financial planning because of almost muscle memory, because they're used to regulating this industry really heavily, then I think that would be a really bad moment for the government and for the industry, because finally, we've possibly had a decade of underinvestment in technology and financial planning because we've been so focused on meeting the regulators' requirements. But now we've started to reduce the regulation. There seems to be some new regulation on the horizon, which shows that the government is changing their tune a little bit in terms of they've realised they've overregulated and it's had some unintended consequences. Now we have AI coming in that can really help practices grow again and get some more clients in the door. It would be a real shame if a really blunt force approach to regulation could trip that up for Australia, for Australians, and for the financial advice industry.
Were you up for an award last night? If not, when are you going to be?
We were, and we won one.
Did
so
you?
we were. Thank you. We were in two. We were nominated twice, and we missed the first one, which was in wealth management. So we thought we were very much in for a night of 0 from 2, but we were very much surprised on the upside, and really grateful to take home the award for most innovative AI in the broader category of information technology. So that was really exciting. We were up against some massive names like EY GitHub, and some really big global players. So, the team was chuffed. Our table was full of developers that have worked really hard on helping advisors implement AI. So that was, it was a really, we were really grateful for that moment to be able to share it with the guys who cut all the code.